Hello everyone, odedex here, welcome to episode 108 of my Let's Play. So as you can see, if you happen to have missed the two previous episodes, I'm starting to completely overhaul my entire storage system. At the moment, everything regarding to storage has been changed, so everything being stored, all the final products are currently being stored on my new applied energistic system. And today I'm planning to change my entire processing unit to also be a part of the applied energistic system. However, quick things before I do that. Two of my quarries have finished. I actually took them off. You can probably see that I've reached bedrock. And let's show you that I've reached bedrock. Okay, so this is one. I also did some manual mining over there. And this is the other. So for the third one, what I did was simply I decided to stop it midway, and I created a 64 by 64 quarry at height level of 65 or 64, which is approximately where you can start finding quartz. Now the result is, because it's not in direct sunlight, there are monsters there, so it's not really a good thing to be standing there, because I don't want a creeper exploding on the quarry. But at least it's mining in the 64 by 64 area at the height of where there should be quartz in theory. So this is a good way. Again, this is a good way until my red powder quarry reaches the good point where it reaches quartz again. Okay, so before starting, let's turn off my red powder quarry and also my buildcraft quarry, so I can work on my processing unit without anything getting jammed. Also, a quick note before going any further. I came here off screen and noticed that I have a problem. For some reason, this assembler had an issue with booster tracks and tracks. It had a lot of booster tracks but barely any tracks, and the regulator was also acting strange. So the thing is, there are two filters here connected to the same tubing network. However, the thing about tubes is if an item tries to go through the inventory full and it bounces back, the bounce back will look for the closest available internal inventory. It will disregard the fact that the receiving inventory is not the same that sent it. So for example, if this filter was sending out at normal track, but this regulator was full on normal tracks or wasn't willing to accept anymore, the result would have been that this normal track would be stored here. And that's a problem, because whenever a filter has its inner buff full, it refuses to do anything else. It will not pull whatever it's supposed to be pulling, unless that inner buffer is emptied. So beforehand, I had normal tracks here and booster tracks here, and the result was that the booster tracks were filling up my entire system. Now, so I changed that. So now there are booster tracks here and normal tracks here, and because normal tracks are being placed more often, I think in theory that should be taken care of. However, this is something that I won't really know until there's some time passes. It took me, you can see, it took me like 10 torches, which is 80 tracks or so. Bit long. Actually, no, it's actually 90 tracks. Yeah, it took me about 90 tracks to get to that point and realize that there is a problem here. So we'll see how that turns out. Alright, this is the wrong thing to turn off. I want to turn off that thing. Okay, so I'm going to turn off that, turn off my quarries, and we can get started. Okay, so everything turned off. There is still some remnant energy in the system that should be taken care of. But overall, yeah, there I go, it stopped. You can also see that I moved away the quartz crystal that I had for Zycraft. I basically set them up in this filter right here, together with obsidian, because I'm simply running low on space available on the sorting machine. So it's being sorted to the black route at the moment, so back in the system, and it's being stored right here. But from now, it's not going to be relevant anymore because things are changing. Alright, so the plan is, what I still really like and probably going to keep for the long term is this thing. The sorting machine, the way it works, everything here no longer has a color code, at least it doesn't matter anymore, but the fact that I'm pulling only stacks of sandstone, sand, gravel, cobblestone, dirt and coal This is something that I'm going to keep, and this is something that I do not know how to still have in applied logistics. So the sorting machine is going to stay, however the color coding doesn't make any difference anymore. And why I want to keep this is because I'm using it in other places. For example, I'm using coal here, and I want to keep using coal here. Now, I could in the future do something else to fix that, but for the time being I like to do it like this. So coal is being used here, and I'm recycling a lot of, one of my recyclers is basically using all those disposable materials in my HV Solar Age. So this is why I also want to keep those, and pulling only a stack here but half a stack there makes there be a higher priority, so it knows how to pull it. If it's something you missed before, this is something I've been doing quite a long time ago. Alright, so let's take our business. So filters go away. The plan is basically to make everything work on applied logistics. So the machines are still the same machines, they still use the same power source from industrial craft. However, there are no more red power tubes or any of that thingies. This will need to change. I already have a plan for that. All the tubes can go away together with the relays. Actually, and now I'm breaking a system that has been here for a really long time, so this is a little bit painful, I won't lie. And this also goes away. More tubes, relays. Okay, let me clear everything. Alright, so all the tubing machinery is gone. Everything related to relays and tubes is gone. And now I'm only left with the actual machines. Now, since I'm no longer restricted to using the tubes and filters and all of that, I can change the way it looks to make it look a little bit nicer. So I have 2 macerators, I have 2 electric furnaces, and I have 1 induction smelter, and I'm gonna keep that. So let's first quickly remove the power sources, because if I'm going to move those machines around and I'm going to place them without the transformer upgrades, I'm going to pay for that. Things explode when they don't have the receive the required voltage. All right, so let's take out the upgrades and rearrange things. So, where is my electric wrench? It's on lossless mode. And break things. And I'm simply going to place that very conveniently right next to the wall. Let me quickly get a stack of cobblestone so I can work with things and change the way they look because they're ugly. Also, I'd like to get some white zirconium blocks and some red zirconium blocks to fill up all the empty holes. Okay, so macerators are going to be right here at the corner. Furnaces are going to be right here. This can be filled up. And for this machine, for the induction smelter, I'm going to need to have 3 inputs. Basically, instead of just 2 faces, I'm going to use 3 faces. So those 3 faces will be changing. Basically, I cannot put it directly next to a wall. So let's put it right about here. Is this fine? No, it's not fine. Let's put it right here. Okay. So this will need actually that's a problem. I was using the fact that okay, I can't place it here. I have to place it right here. It's very conveniently connected to the power source here, and changing that will be annoying. Or you know what, actually, is there anything connected right here? Yeah, there is. Okay. So let's not play with that. Let's keep the induction furnace where it is. Not a big deal. Okay, so let's apply all the upgrades. So 10 transformers each and 10 overclockers. Sorry, 2 transformers each and 10 overclockers. If you shift right click, it tries to cook it and that doesn't help me. And reconnect all of the machinery. So this goes away like this and just fill up the floor. Alright, so next up is how exactly do I cook things? So I'm going to use two of the already existing gates that I'm already using. They're pretty much used for most things, if not everything, which are the import buses and the export buses. And I'm going to need more export buses, so actually let me quickly make some. I already made a couple of those on screen. Let me get some couple off screen. Okay, so I got 8 and 8 of each, 8 exports, 8 and 8 imports. So let's start working on them. So everything that needs to be macerated will be exported into the macerator. Now, there is no limit to what's being exported. It doesn't matter, it will simply try to export every type of item that's in the system which is supposed to be exported. And those are the silver ore, the ferrous ore, the lead ore, gold ore. I think I can simply sample them out of here quickly. I'm also going to try to make them half and half, so half goes that way, half goes the other way. Can I sample them from here? Does that work that way? Yep, okay. So those are what's going to be exported in here on stack mode, and it's going to be always active. Yeah, always active. This will be for this one. I'm going to still keep it here. It's still going to be color coded, but it doesn't make any more sense. I just need it to be here, so it's getting filtered, it's getting taken out of the ender chest. So this macerator will take care of those things. Actually, no, it has to be, oh, no, it's a different color code, so sorry, my bad. It doesn't go that way. So let's change something. Let's have tin and copper in here. In stack mode, again, always active, and remove them from here. That was kind of derpy what I just did. So let's reinsert silver and iron in here. Okay. And those things, those three materials, lead, ferrous, and gold. Gold is not necessary, but ferrous and lead are actually being taken care of in this area. So let's have it like this. Let's have, I'm gonna need green for sand, so let's have export here to make sure it's always full up with sand. And yellow is the output. Let's change that. Let's change the way it looks. So let's have yellow as the input, so, or actually the top as the purple, and the backside as orange. There we go. This can go away. This can also go away. Okay. So it's putting sand here. It's putting the outputs here on the top. So another export bus that will be taking care of gold, lead, and ferrous. Stack at a time. And there we go. We can replace them here. And the output of everything, or actually before that, I'm gonna need to, okay, I'm also going to need to export the dusts into the furnaces, but this is going to have to wait because I don't have the actual dust material on me. I cannot filter it out, so I just can't place it there. But before that, I can place those things there. So I can place all these echorium crystals and cinnabar and aluminum. So let's do that. Let's place those in here. Can I shift right now? That was asking for a little bit too much. Okay, so all these echorium crystals, the cinnabar and the aluminum will be smelted in this one, stack at a time, redstone mode always active. This still needs to be set up. It's not yet set up, but it's gonna do its job nevertheless when it is. And cinnabar ore, replace everything. And that's pretty much it. Now, in terms of exports, I'm gonna simply import. Simply gonna import everything from here. It's simply gonna import always active and move a stack. It ignores what it's importing. It doesn't care what it's importing. It's simply gonna import everything. So this, everything here, also from the orange output, import everything. And now, ME interface moves away from here. It moves directly here, right in front of the sorting machine. And let's connect the filter from the top also to the ME interface, like this. And now simply connect everything. Again, you need to remember that I still need to set this thing up. So let's simply connect everything to be working on the same network. This is connected, this is not yet connected, now it is. Now this is connected, and this. Everything is connected, now just to connect it to the rest of the network. Now I still have this thing here. I'm gonna keep it here for the time being, although it's likely to move. So the way I'm gonna handle that, remember that chest is supplying the materials for my truck crafting machine. It supplies us iron, gold, and redstone to my truck creation system. So the way I'm going to handle that is something actually experimental. I don't know if it's going to work. I hope it will. Is simply placing an export bus right here. And because the regulator already has its own limiters, it's already limiting what it can accept. Even though the export bus will try to keep pushing it, I think it will simply ignore it. I'm not 100% sure about it, but it should. So let's have, I'm going to need a piece of, let's try not to take from here, let's take from here. So I'm going to need gold, redstone, and iron. The export bus will always try to export gold, iron, and redstone as stacks, and it will always be active. Now, the regulator on its own knows how to limit what it can receive. Actually, let's not push a stack at a time. Let's also only push one at a time. So if I take some gold out of here, it should take some. Okay, it doesn't like it that much. I guess this is something that's gonna need to be worked on. Yeah, it doesn't exactly work. Okay, this is something I'm gonna need to figure out eventually, but for now it's going to work. It's going to stay as is, and in theory you can just reconnect everything and let it work, and it should be working without any issues. And let's give it a try. Let me go and turn on my red power quarry and buildcraft quarry. Okay, so I only turned on my buildcraft quarry for the time being to make sure it's kind of slow to begin with. I already saw something being macerated. Now everything that's being macerated is still not being sorted out. There you go. You have some copper dust here and also some iron dust. So let's move them away from here and make sure that they're being smelted. So add them here as a stack mode. Everything copper and iron smelt, and reinsert them here. And you can see the way it works simply just like my previous system would work. It simply, when it have an inventory available, it pushes thing inside it and it will pull whenever it's ready. But like this, everything is connected together, and I don't know, personally I like it more like this way. Now, the supposed drawback is that I actually also have to handle the storage of those dusts. You can actually see it fluctuating. When you see a sudden jump in like 500 bytes or something, that's the fluctuation of suddenly a new dust entering the system, and it takes up a lot of room in the storage. Alright, so let's also turn on the red power quarry, see how that works. Okay, so I turned on my red power quarry and everything seems to be working in order for the time being. I'm keeping a close eye on, yeah, there you go, tin dust, which is, I think, is not being taken care of yet. Yeah, should add that. Iron is being taken care of. So let's add tin here as well. And I'm going to need to make sure that every time something is added, it's being taken care of in the furnaces. Now, the only drawback in theory here is that every electric furnace is limited to 8 slots. However, you can actually work around that. You could have, like, say, a relay on the top of the furnace and simply connect those export buses to the relay itself. And relay obviously has 6 faces. If one is taken care of by electric furnace, you still have, in theory, 5 available faces to connect the export buses to. So you can work around everything if you really want to. Okay, let's add silver as well. And I think that's taking care of everything. Gold I'm smelting here. Why am I not extracting? Import bus. Is it connected to the wrong slot? Why is it not importing? Always active, stack at a time. Okay, this is interesting. Is this the right face? Well, it's definitely doing something, but it's failing to take it in. If I try going for one at a time, nope. If I try going at active without signal, does it not like? Okay, let's try saying whatever I want to take out. So let's say I'll tell it to take out gold and lead, and let's get rid of this. Will that work? Take out gold and lead, please. Nope. Oh, I think I need to make it a passive, like this. Yeah, there we go. Now it works. Yeah, I think it's something to do with the fact that thermal expansion machines are actually a lot smarter than most machines, and they don't act. Those faces are not inventory. They like, in addition to being in an inventory, they actually try to push items out, and I think that has a problem with applied logistics. But the way to simply take care of that is make, instead of a dedicated slot, simply make that a passive, you know, the passive thingy. And every inventory. Okay, now this is not being taken care of. Okay, now this is annoying. They should also. If I remove this, will they still? Okay, now it works. Okay. So if you are using thermal expansion, you're gonna have to make sure that your inventories that you want to interact with are not that you want to extract from. Not if you want to input into, that's fine. You're gonna use color codes. But if you want to extract from a machine, make sure it's just the configuration is this kind of no color at all, this normal, I don't know, default color, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so I shouldn't have. Okay, I'm gonna have kind of those bounce backs between whenever my inventory receives something that it needs to be processed and until it actually gets processed. There is this kind of a small time frame. But I really prefer the entire system looking like this instead of having all the red power thingies in here. I don't know. Having the red power here kind of, except for this, of course, I cannot avoid this, and actually I cannot yet avoid using the sorting machine. Having the red power between those machines, I really didn't like that. It was a little bit ugly and it really is taking a lot of room. And also I had a timer here and everything, which I really didn't like. So, yeah. So officially, Applied Logistics took over also my processing unit. Okay, so let me share with you guys something that I've learned while dealing with Applied Logistics stuff. So the way the storage works here is actually relatively smart and kind of nice, if you know how to work with it. However, the only gripe that I have with it is that I think, in my opinion, it could manage itself properly. Like it could manage itself better than it is, but something, I guess there's something you just cannot do sometimes, but there you have it. So the way it works with the different data disks is a type of item will always take a specific amount of storage on the different disks. So on the 1K storage, adding a new type of item, so right now I have no redstone here. If I add redstone, it's going to spike by 8 bytes. So right now I have, alright, it's going to be spiky because of the cobblestone here, but right now I have 970 or 978. If I add redstone, now I have 978 or 86 because of the spiky cobblestone. However, adding any more after that has a specific amount of bytes per, I think per stack actually. So the first type will take 8 bytes, but every stack after that or up to a stack will also take 8 bytes. Okay, so this is one thing. And when you use different storage types, so say 64 storage, the way it works is that instead of 8, specifically on 64, every type will take 516. You can actually see the spiking is relatively about 500. It's basically 516, but 512 bytes. You can actually see it spiking, but if you're not so good with math, you can actually just see it spiking by approximately 500. So there you have it. That's for the type. However, for the actual amount, it's going to be storing the same thing. So for one stack, I think it's storing 8 bytes. So to make it a long story short, basically, when you're looking to store one type of item, but a lot of it, you better use large storage data disks. But if you want to store many different types of items, most notably something like this chest, it's better to actually use a small data disk, such as a 1K storage or a 4K, because it simply will be more efficient. Basically because it's cheaper. You can still store the same things without any problems, but the fact that the 1K is just cheaper, it will be a smarter thing to do, to store many different types on 1K storage and one type, but a lot of, on a larger data disk. So mainly for this storage system that I'm using right now, using only 64Ks is pretty good. However, I also like storing my ME stuff also here, and that's where things start to happen. So I have this chest here. Sometimes it's kind of acting strange. I don't know why it would prefer storing like cobblestone or quartz in here when they're also available on those disks. This is what I was talking to begin with the way it optimizes itself in kind of an odd way. But I guess simply that's the way it is. You can also pre-format. There is a way to, let's see here. Let's have Applied Logistics. There is a way to pre-format, there we go, the ME pre-formatter to make sure that the data disks will only, for example, accept, say, lead ingots. So you can do that, but this is something that I don't really want to do yet. I don't see much point. Okay, so everything seems to be in working order for the time being. I can also now, because the way it's set up, I can also tell that to accept unknown items, I think. Will that work? I wanted to take out that rotten flesh out of here. Oh no, now it empties. Okay, that's bad. It empties also all the half stacks of cobble and dirt and everything. So that doesn't really help me. That's a bad thing with the way it's currently set up. So I cannot take the rotten flesh out of here. Not yet. Basically, this mod, what it does in the sorting machine, anything when you go like this, anything that doesn't recognize as here in the inventory will be outputted, for example, with white color code. However, that also applies to half stacks of dirt and cobblestone and things that I want to keep in here, so that doesn't really help me, not that much. I'm still going to need to find a way to take care of this thing, and I'm not exactly sure on how to do that. Maybe playing around with the items here will eventually do that, but yeah, that's something that we need to take care of. Okay, you know what? I want to try and take care of that right before ending the episode, and then basically, yeah, just complete it before ending the episode, and that will be that. So I think I'm gonna go for something. Yeah, let's go for an ME interface. I'm gonna need some glass, iron, this thing, and a cable, so I have everything that I need. I'm gonna need just one. And with that ME interface, I'm going to take a transposer, and I'm going to need a timer. And that, I think, will be the way to take care of that. So let's have it like this. The regulator will have to move. Oh wait, no, it won't have to move. Okay, so this goes away. Right here, I'm gonna have, okay, no, I think it has to move. Or things simply have to get uglier. And I don't know which I prefer. Okay, the regulator has to move. So, where is my chest now? I'd like to have my chest, please. Okay, let me get clear my inventory a little bit. Okay, so looking from this way, I'm gonna have my ME interface here. Let's quickly remove this and have it an ME interface. I'm going to export gold, redstone, and iron. And what that means, that block, that ME interface, will always act as an inventory that has iron, redstone, and gold. And it actually does. It acts like this. Now, it still acts like a normal ME interface, so if I place something that shouldn't be here, say cobblestone, it goes away. If I place an excess of redstone, it goes away. It's not supposed to be here because that's not the export config. That's the configuration of what's supposed to be here. That's something that's supposed to be manually exported out of the system. So when that looks like this, I actually still have a problem. That's something, that's a limitation of red power right now, basically. I did it halfway, I didn't think about it completely. Let's see if I can find a way to take care of that. What I was thinking about doing is simply transposing out of here. So say have this transposer looking like this. I'm gonna need one tube here. Actually, maybe I don't need a tube. Let's try without the tube. So looking like this, the regulator will be, actually let's just place the chest first. So this is the chest with all the items that needs to be here, and have the regulator here. That regulator knows it needs to keep a stack of gold, a stack of iron, a stack of redstone, and let's say it could keep a stack of each all the time. Or let's just say let's let it keep. Okay, let it keep. No, stack is too much. For testing purposes, let it keep an 8 of each. So it can keep up to 8 gold, 8 iron, and 8 redstone. And it knows to regulate the inventory, of course, to keep those stuff. So if I, for example, take this out of here, let's apply the redstone signal to the transposer. I don't know if it works. Yeah, it's going to need to have some sort of tubing distance in between them. It cannot be connected directly. This is something I'm not a big fan of. And this is basically the problem. Because the transposer will try to transpose, for example, gold, and it's going to get filled up in its inventory. It's going to have issues. And this is the problem that I'm having. Maybe there is a way to work around that. Probably not, but why am I breaking down coal? Okay, so this like this. Where's the ender chest? Okay, my ender chest disappeared. That's nice. Just evaporated. Where is it? Oh, it was in my inventory. Herp derp. Okay, so place this in here. And this, whoops. This in here. And my regulator here. Again, a stack of each in the adjacent inventory, except up to, let's accept up to a stack. And turn this on. Now it will work, but the problem is that the moment it tries, you know what, maybe it won't have a problem. Let's try helping it. Let's give it a hand and fill up quickly here. Okay, so it tries to put gold, another gold, and now it try again gold, and this happens. This is the problem. And this is the problem that I'm gonna try and figure out eventually how to work out. Alright, so taking large steps here with the applied logistics. Eventually I'm gonna have it even crafting stuff for me automatically, and this is the next step pretty much, but this step will require a ton of crystals. and 6 is not a ton. So as always, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.